Hi and welcome to Omni Edition Garden City. I'm Dan York and we have a special guest with us today, Tim Gibbons, Garden City's brand new Chief of Police. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much.
So tell us a little bit about your background because people have seen you around forever and another Garden City guy becomes Chief of Police.
Yeah, I was born at Garden City Hospital, raised on the west side of town, and went to Farmington Elementary, then St. Raphael's, and then off to Divine Child for high school. And then I got hired a little bit after college here at the police department. Been with the police department 16 years.
Okay.
Been a patrolman. Was assigned to a special unit for a little bit. Became a sergeant, lieutenant, and now replacing Bob Murray as chief.
And we don't have quote-unquote deputy chiefs anymore, right?
No. A few years back, they got rid of the position and sort of divided the work between two lieutenants.
Okay. And the other lieutenant currently is?
Lieutenant Eric Zimmer.
Okay. And then there will be a promotion to lieutenant to replace you?
Yes, on Thursday, Sergeant Don Barton becomes Lieutenant Don Barton. And
Okay.
so he's excited and we're excited.
Okay. Obviously, you've seen a lot in this community.
Yes.
And again, we've had a lot of cops come up through the community that grew up here. And you are a legacy, I guess.
Yes.
Is what we would call you because, well, go ahead, explain it.
Oh, my mother's brother is Dave Harvey. So my uncle, so I grew up watching a Garden City police officer do his job, and one that did pretty well in the department. So it was always an inspiration to me as I was coming up. And
So what made you want to become a cop? Or is that it? I mean,
yeah, watching him, and then, I don't know, it was probably Economics 101 in college made me decide that the business wasn't for me, and seeing the career Dave had, and what a fantastic career he had.
Yeah.
And I've always been interested in law enforcement, but it really, once I got into college, I started wading my way through classes and things, and then he at the time was, approaching chief, and so I thought, wow, that seems like a career that would interest me, and
Yeah.
and also, growing up in the city of Garden City and my family being from here, it was just applying here and was a great opportunity to kind of be somewhere I knew I liked and my family had history in, and it was definitely a job for me.
and it was great last night at your swearing in because your grandfather was able to be there.
Yes, my grandfather, we are, my mother's side of the family are Kentucky transplants. They came up in the 60s, like so many families in Garden City. And Grandpa moved the family up here, got a job at Parker and Hanovan, and then brought my mom and Dave Harvey with him. And, he ended up becoming chief of police here.
And is that's your grandpa
now,
right there?
Yep, right in between Allison and I is my grandpa, 92 years old, had his
How cool
birthday
is
earlier
that?
this month, or earlier in January.
Very cool. So, again, great history in this community. You understand the people, you understand the community, because
Yes.
that expression, it's a Garden City thing, is not by any small means wrong. It's
No, it
there is a
certainly
Garden
is.
City way of doing things.
Yes, it's a unique, special town, and people from outside cities, then they see the way the city runs, and they don't get it. It's a Garden City thing. Everybody works together to accomplish the goal.
And even though it's only just about 6 square miles, there's 100 miles of local roads to worry about.
There is. There's a lot to patrol. Before I became a police officer, my uncle said you'd be surprised. The how much there is in Garden City that goes on that you don't see, just as being a resident here, and it's really a special place. And his words ring true. That's been my experience in 16 years. It's a neat city.
And we do a lot, and you've only seen it for 16 years. I've seen it for 35, but we do a lot more with a lot less than we used to.
We do. I think SEMCOG not too long ago said they were just amazed that we can accomplish the delivery of service that we do with the amount of people we have. We are efficient. I think every time we talk about budgets and things like that, when we replace something, have we gotten its use out of it? And we always seem to double its use out of it and then buy something new. And same thing with our employees. Each employee in some cities, they'd need two to do the one guy's job. So.
Yeah, and for the longest time, I mean, now you're getting police cars and that replaced on a regular basis, but before it was drive them until they don't run anymore.
Yeah, no, when times are tough and the budget needs tightening, our officers and our department's always been able to make do with what they have as long as they can do it. And then the city has always seemed to recognize that. So now we're getting 2 cars per year. The cars are in great shape. We're in a place where our fleet's really well. And we're actually getting prepared. If we have a downturn, we'll be ready.
And a lot of new officers coming in.
Yes, it's an amazing amount of turnover in a short period of time. We hired in big blocks in the late 1990s, early 2000s. We had a huge hiring block. Then hit some tough times around 2008 and stuff, where we cut some staff, which left just those guys who were hired in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, and now they're coming to time to retire. And as they go out, we're hiring another big block. So you'll be seeing a lot of new faces. A lot of new Garden City officers here. But we've hired some great officers. I'm very pleased with who we're bringing on board. They're really just adapting and hitting the ground running. And our senior guys are really passing on the Garden City thing to them. So.
And you've known that you were going to be chief now for a couple of months because you passed the test.
Yeah, actually since January, since a year ago.
Okay.
I've known. So it's given me some time to shadow Chief Murray and really learn things that you wouldn't learn if you just were handed the job the next day. I was able to, basically, he gave me a much more expanded role once we knew that I would be a successor. So I feel like he's prepared me as much as you can prepare for this type of job.
And these are bigger than life shoes to fill.
Yes.
I mean, and if you look at Dave Kosis and Dave Harvey and Kim Scott and Bob Murray, I mean, these are people that were ingrained in the community, that everybody knew in the community, and were very strong figures.
Yes. Yeah, they're huge shoes to fill. Yeah, Chief Murray, city manager, longtime Garden City guy. Really, he embodies Garden City, and I told him it's not fair. He should, lower his performance a little for me, so that when I take over, I won't have such a high standard. It was a joke.
Well, and for a cop,
yeah,
people aren't that well liked, and this guy is so well liked.
He is it. He embodies Garden City. He's, as far as a police officer is concerned, you can't find a more, fun, pleasing individual to be around. Especially, quite often in law enforcement, you have to have uncomfortable contact with people.
Yeah.
And he always seems to build a relationship, even in the most stressful of circumstances with people, and it's always been impressive to me.
And he was a good cop.
He was a great cop, a great street cop. When I started, he was always one of the guys that I looked up to. He could make a case where you didn't think whether there was one to be made. If there was only a little bit of suspect information, he was the guy that would go out and dig until he found the guy that did it. I remember one time hearing about him going to another city where we thought a suspect vehicle was and just driving up and down the blocks tirelessly until he found a car that matched the suspect vehicle and ended up making a great arrest. And that has always gone with me, and I try to pass on to the other officers that come after me, is like, you just put the effort in, and it starts with Bob. He's always shown us.
And not that he had that luxury anyways, because we are so short-staffed, but he was never the guy behind the desk shuffling paper around, and it didn't matter what time of day or night that he was needed, he was there.
Right. Chief Murray is a guy who will still respond to runs. He shows up and backs the officers. Where you go to most cities and the chief doesn't show up on a run, a regular everyday run, but he will. But it's that kind of contact he has with the community that I think that makes him so successful.
And I'm guessing even though he officially left as chief of police yesterday, yeah, he'll probably still be on some runs till his last.
I don't doubt his last day will probably include a police run. So.
Well, we want to wish you the best of luck, and I know you have the backing of your guys.
Thank you.
And you have the backing of the community, and as always, we're always very happy in Garden City to see someone rise from within the ranks and take over the reins. And in this case, again, you're just following in some great footsteps.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Tim Gibbons, Garden City's brand new chief of police, and hopefully in that position for a long time.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, that's Omni Edition Garden City for today. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.